If you win the morning, you win the day. If you lose it, you spend your life reacting. The world belongs to those who rise early, not to chase comfort, but to sharpen the soul. Marcus Aurelius began each day with stillness, with purpose, with brutal honesty. He knew the morning was a battlefield and only the strong would conquer it. You're not just waking up, you're stepping into your duty. Meet the dawn like a soldier meets the front line. Subscribe to our channel if you're ready to master your mind, and tell us, where are you watching from? There is a moment in the depths of dawn when the world holds its breath. This is your moment. This is where greatness begins. Not in the boardroom, not on the battlefield, but in that sacred space between darkness and light, when you make the choice that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. I am Marcus Aurelius, and I write to you not as an emperor, but as a student of life who discovered that the morning holds secrets few men dare to unlock. Think of the sunrise not as a daily occurrence, but as a daily test. While others slumber, surrendering their power to unconsciousness, you have the opportunity to claim the most precious resource in existence, uncontested time. The morning is not merely about waking up, it is about waking up to your own potential. When I ruled Rome, I understood that an emperor who rises after his subjects is no emperor at all. He is reactive, not proactive. He follows rather than leads. The same principle applies to your life. Every time you choose comfort over consciousness in those early hours, you abdicate your throne to circumstance. Consider the dawn as nature's greatest teacher. It asks nothing of you, yet offers everything. In those quiet moments before the chaos of the day erupts, you can find clarity that the noise of noon will never provide. This is why I chose to rise before the sun, not to torture myself with early hours, but to commune with the deepest truths of existence. The morning air carries wisdom that the afternoon has forgotten. When you step into this sacred time, you step into a realm where few others dare to tread. This solitude is not loneliness, it is power. In these hours, you can think thoughts that the busy world would drown out, plan actions that the reactive masses would never conceive, and build foundations that the late risers can only dream of. But let me be clear, this is not about bragging rights or some hollow sense of superiority. This is about sovereignty over your own existence. When you rise early, you declare to the universe that you are not a passenger in your life. You are the captain. You are not waiting for opportunity. You are creating it. The challenge lies not in the act of waking. Any alarm clock can force consciousness. The challenge lies in the purpose with which you wake. Are you rising to escape, to merely begin another day of reacting to others' demands? Or are you rising to conquer, to shape the day before it shapes you? I wrote in my meditations about the importance of purpose in every action. This applies tenfold to your morning ritual. Each early rise should be a deliberate act of self-governance. You are not just leaving your bed, you are entering your arena. The morning is your first battle, and how you face it sets the tone for every battle that follows. Think of the great achievements of history, the monuments, the discoveries, the victories that changed the course of nations. Behind each of these was a morning, often many mornings, when someone chose to rise while others slept. They chose to begin when the path was hardest, when resistance was strongest, when every fiber of their being begged for just one more hour of comfort. The morning is your proving ground. It is where you demonstrate in the silence of dawn what you truly value. Words are easy in the light of day, when others can hear them. But actions in the darkness, when no one is watching, these define your character. Do not misunderstand me. This is not about punishment or denial. This is about claiming what is rightfully yours, the power to shape your day from its very inception. When you rise before the world does, you write the first lines of your day's story. You set the terms of engagement. You choose the battlefield. Remember, the universe conspires to support those who align themselves with its rhythms. Nature itself has designed the morning as a time of renewal, of beginning, of potential. By rising early, You are not fighting against nature. You are embracing its most powerful gift. The choice is yours, as it has always been. Will you continue to let the world define your days, or will you rise, claim your power, and begin writing your own story before others can impose their narratives upon you? The morning awaits. It makes no judgments about yesterday's failures or tomorrow's challenges. It simply offers you a clean slate, a fresh start, an empty canvas upon which, to me, paint your intentions. This is your time. This is your power. This is your opportunity to rise before the world does, and in doing so, to rise above the ordinary. Listen carefully to what I am about to tell you, for this truth has the power to transform your existence. The quality of your first thought shapes the quality of your entire day. This is not philosophy. This is war. In the moment your consciousness first stirs, a battle begins. It is swift, silent, and more crucial than most realize. This is the battle between who you are and who you wish to become. Your first thought is not merely a thought. It is a declaration of who you will be for the next 24 hours. I have known this battle intimately. As emperor, my first thoughts could shape the destiny of Rome itself. But you need not command armies to understand the weight of these initial moments. Your mind, fresh from sleep's embrace, stands at a crossroads. One path leads to growth, to strength, to purpose. The other leads to stagnation, to weakness, to surrender. The modern world has forgotten an ancient truth. The quality of your first thought determines the quality of your day. When you first wake, your mind is like a city at dawn, quiet, receptive, unburdened by the chaos to come. This is precisely why this moment is so precious, and precisely why you must guard it with the ferocity of a warrior. But let us speak plainly about what you face. That first moment of consciousness brings with it a flood of impulses. Your body, still warm from sleep, begs for more rest. Your mind, aware of the day's challenges, suggests delay. These are not mere thoughts. They are your first opponents of the day, and they must be met with unwavering resolve. I wrote extensively about the importance of examining our thoughts, of questioning their origin and their purpose. This practice becomes paramount in those first waking moments. When comfort whispers, 5 more minutes, understand that this is not your ally speaking. It is resistance. It is the voice of mediocrity, disguised as reason. Your first thought must be a weapon, sharp, decisive, and aimed at the heart of weakness. It must cut through the fog of sleep with the clarity of purpose. When consciousness returns, do not drift in the comfortable haze between sleep and wakefulness. Seize that moment. Make your first thought a command. I rise now, not because it is easy, but because it is necessary. Think of your first thought as a general rallying his troops. It must be clear, it must be strong, and it must inspire action. I am awake is not enough. I rise to conquer, to learn, to grow stronger. This is the thought of a warrior. This is the thought that sets the day's battle in your favor. The untrained mind will immediately seek escape through excuses, through rationalization, through negotiation with itself. This is why your first thought must be trained, must be cultivated, must be strengthened through daily practice. Just as a sword must be sharpened, your morning thoughts must be honed to cut through resistance. Consider this. In that first moment of consciousness, you are already making a choice. Whether you recognize it or not, your first thought is either empowering you or weakening you. There is no neutral ground in this battle. You are either advancing or retreating. The choice is yours, but the consequences are inevitable. Many will tell you that positive thinking is the key. They are wrong. Clear thinking is what you need. Your first thought should not be clouded by emotion or wishful thinking. It should be grounded in truth, in purpose, in the understanding that this moment, this very first moment, is where excellence begins. I learned through years of ruling an empire that the quality of my decisions diminished with each moment. I delayed after waking. The mind is freshest, most capable of wisdom in those first conscious moments. To waste them in bargaining with comfort is to squander your greatest daily advantage. So I challenge you. Make your first thought a declaration of war against mediocrity. Let it be the trumpet that calls you to action, the flame that burns away. The temptation to delay. Your first thought should be so powerful that your body responds without hesitation, knowing that the time for rest has passed and the time for conquest has begun. Remember, this is not about comfort. This is about power. This is about understanding that your first thought is your first opportunity to demonstrate who you truly are. Will you think like a leader, a warrior, a builder of destiny? Or will you think like those who let life happen to them, who begin each day with surrender? The choice is yours, but know this: that first thought, that first mental battle of the day, will echo through every challenge that follows. Win it decisively, and you set yourself on a path of strength. Lose it, and you begin your day already defeated. Let your first thought be your battle cry. Let it remind you of who you are and what you're capable of. Let it be the spark that ignites the fire of your purpose. For in that crucial moment between sleep and full consciousness, you have the power to shape not just your day, but your very character. Hear me well, for this truth has been earned through countless battles at dawn. The bed is not your friend. It is your first and most formidable opponent in the daily battle for excellence. Every morning it presents itself not as an enemy, but as a counsel of compromise. It speaks in soft whispers of comfort, in gentle promises of just a few more minutes. But make no mistake, this is the voice of defeat. I have faced this opponent countless times, as have all who aspire to greatness. The bed offers what seems like sanctuary, what feels like rest, what masquerades as necessary comfort. But in these crucial morning moments, it is nothing less than a trap, a velvet prison that holds you back from your potential. Let me be clear, there can be no negotiation. The moment you begin to bargain with your bed is the moment you have already lost. 5 more minutes becomes 10, becomes 20, becomes a morning squandered in the pursuit of temporary comfort. This is not rest. This is retreat. This is not recovery. This is surrender. Think of every great achievement in human history. Behind each one stands a person who, at some crucial moment, refused to negotiate with comfort. They understood that greatness demands sacrifice, and that sacrifice often begins in those first moments of the day. The bed represents more than physical comfort. It represents the temptation to choose what is easy over what is necessary. When you lie there, entertaining thoughts of delay, you are not merely losing time, you are losing momentum. You are losing the psychological advantage. That comes with decisive action. Every second spent in that internal debate weakens your resolve, diminishes your discipline, and reinforces the habit of hesitation. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of rising promptly, not because early rising itself is virtuous, but because how we handle this first challenge sets the pattern for how we will handle every challenge that follows. When you negotiate with your bed, you are really negotiating with your own excellence. You are bargaining away your potential for the currency of comfort. Consider this: the bed will never tell you it's the right time to rise. It will always suggest delay. It will always present reasonable-sounding arguments for just a little longer. This is why the decision must be made in advance, and it must be absolute. When the moment comes, there is no discussion, no debate, no democracy of desires. There is only action. The physical act of rising should be immediate and complete. The moment consciousness returns, your body should move with purpose. Not slowly, not grudgingly, but with the swift certainty of someone who understands that hesitation is the destroyer of opportunity. The longer you lie there, the stronger the bed's arguments become. This is not about denying the body's need for rest. It is about understanding the difference between necessary rest and needless delay. Your body requires sleep, yes, but it also requires discipline. The bed, in those morning moments, tests which requirement you value more. Many will say, "This approach is harsh. that we should be gentler with ourselves. But I ask you, what is truly harsh? Is it the momentary discomfort of decisive action or the lasting regret of potential squandered? Is it the brief shock of leaving warmth for cold, or the deep ache of knowing you chose comfort over growth? The bed will present itself differently to each person. For some, it whispers of escape from responsibilities. For others, it offers refuge from challenges ahead. For many, it simply suggests that excellence can wait another day. But the result is always the same: delayed action, diminished will, defeated purpose. Your relationship with your bed is a mirror of your relationship with challenge itself. Those who negotiate with their bed will find themselves negotiating without every obstacle they face. Those who rise decisively will find that decisiveness becoming their natural response to life's demands. Establish this truth in your mind. The bed is not a place of decision. The decision to rise is made the night before, and once made, it is irrevocable. When morning comes, there is no choosing, no weighing of options, no internal debate. There is only the execution of a decision already made. Remember, every time you rise without negotiation, you strengthen your will. Every time you leave comfort without hesitation, you build your character. Every time you choose purpose over pleasure, you move closer to your potential. The bed will always be there, offering its comfort. But greatness only comes to those who rise above comfort's call. So, make your choice. Will you spend your mornings in negotiation with weakness, or will you rise with the certainty of someone who understands that destiny waits for no one? The bed is your first battlefield. Victory here echoes through every hour that follows. Defeat here casts its shadow over all your aspirations. Do not negotiate. Do not hesitate. Do not compromise. Rise, and in rising, claim your power over the day that awaits. Listen to me now, as I share with you one of the most powerful secrets of leadership. Before you can command armies, before you can rule empires, before you can change the world, you must first master stillness. The greatest power lies not in motion, but in the moment before motion, in the sacred space of silence where wisdom is born. I learned this truth not in the Senate chambers of Rome, but in the quiet moments before dawn, when the world still slept and my thoughts were my only companions. It was in these moments of stillness that I found the strength to lead an empire, the clarity to make decisions that would echo through centuries. The modern world fears silence. It runs from stillness as if stillness were death itself. But I tell you this: the noise of the world is the true death, the death of wisdom, the death of purpose, the death of self-knowledge. In the chaos of the morning, most rush to fill their minds with information, with noise, with the clamor of the day's demands. They mistake activity for achievement, motion for progress. But you must be different. You must understand that the first moments of your day are too precious to be filled with noise. When you rise, resist the urge to immediately engage with the world's chaos. Create instead a sanctuary of silence, a fortress of stillness where your mind can gather its strength. This is not meditation as the masses understand it. This is not about emptying your mind. It is about preparing it for battle. In these moments of stillness, you are not retreating from the world. You are arming yourself to engage with it more effectively. You are not avoiding reality. You are seeing it more clearly than those who rush blindly into the day's fray. I wrote of this in my meditations. People seek retreats for themselves in the countryside, by the seashore, in the mountains. But this is all folly. When it is possible at any hour, you choose to find a retreat within yourself. This is what your morning stillness must be, not an escape, but a strengthening, a centering, a gathering of forces. Think of the mind as a pool of water. When it is agitated, when waves crash across its surface, it reflects nothing clearly. But in stillness, it becomes a perfect mirror, showing you both the heights of the heavens and the depths of your own nature. This is what morning stillness offers you: perfect clarity, perfect reflection, perfect understanding, But achieving this stillness requires more than simply sitting quietly. It demands intention. It demands discipline. It demands that you resist the thousand small urgencies that begin to scratch at your consciousness the moment you wake. Your phone beckons. Your tasks call out. The world's demands press against your mind like waves against a shore. Stand firm. Let these urgencies crash against your resolve and find you unmoved. For these first moments of your day, be unavailable to everything except the cultivation of your own wisdom and strength. The world can wait. Indeed, the world will be better served by a you who has found your center before engaging with its chaos. In these moments of stillness, do not seek entertainment. Do not seek distraction. Seek truth. Ask yourself the hard questions. What is my purpose today? What weaknesses must I guard against? What strengths must I cultivate? Let the answers emerge not from anxiety or ambition, but from the deep well of silence you have created. Many will tell you this is a waste of time. They are the same people who waste their entire days reacting to events rather than shaping them. They are the ones who never understand why they feel constantly overwhelmed, constantly behind, constantly at the mercy of circumstances. They have never learned that power flows from stillness. Your morning silence is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is the foundation upon which all other achievements must be built. Without this foundation, your actions, no matter how energetic, will lack direction. Your decisions, no matter how swift, will lack wisdom. Your leadership, no matter how confident, will lack depth. Consider the great leaders of history. In their moments of greatest triumph, their power came not from frantic activity, but from unshakable certainty. This certainty was forged in moments of stillness, in the quiet spaces where wisdom whispers its deepest truths. Make this your daily practice. Before you engage with the world's noise, before you begin the day's battles, create your fortress of stillness. Let it be your armor, your weapon, your command center. Let it be the place where you transform from a mere participant in life to a shaper of destiny. Remember, the world will always try to fill your silence with noise, your stillness with motion, your clarity with confusion. Resist. Hold fast to these sacred morning moments, for in them you will find not just peace, but power, not just clarity, but purpose, not just rest, but preparation for the greatness that awaits. Start with stillness, and let everything else flow from there. This is not just advice. It is a command from one who has led armies, governed empires, and faced the greatest challenges of power. Begin in silence, and you will end in triumph. Understand this fundamental truth. A morning without purpose is like an army without orders, destined for defeat before the battle begins. I have commanded legions, governed an empire, and faced the weightiest decisions any mortal could face. Yet in all these years, one principle has remained unshaken. The power of purpose precedes all meaningful action. Do not mistake motion for purpose. The world is full of busy fools rushing through their mornings with the frantic energy of a startled deer. They confuse activity with achievement, movement with progress. But I tell you this, without a defined purpose, all your morning rituals are nothing but elaborate forms of procrastination. When I ruled Rome, each dawn brought with it the weight of millions of lives depending on my decisions. I could not afford the luxury of an aimless morning. Neither can you. The stakes of your life may seem smaller, but they are no less vital. Your decisions, your actions, your purpose, these shape not just your day, but the very fabric of your existence. Consider this. Would a general send his troops into battle without a clear objective? Would an architect begin building without a design? Then why do you rise each morning without a crystalline understanding of your purpose? This is not mere planning. This is the foundation of all meaningful achievement. Your purpose must be defined before your head leaves the pillow. It should be sharp enough to cut through confusion, clear enough to guide every action, strong enough to sustain you when motivation fails. This is not about creating a to-do list, Lists are for servants, purpose is for leaders. I wrote extensively about the importance of morning intention. Not because I was naturally disciplined, but because I understood that purpose is the rudder that steers the ship of your day. Without it, you are at the mercy of every wind that blows, every wave that crashes against your bow. Let me be clear about what purpose means. It is not enough to say, I will work hard today, or I will be productive. These are empty phrases, as useful as armor made of clouds. Your purpose must be specific, it must be meaningful, and above all, it must be aligned with your highest principles. Each morning ask yourself, what victory must I achieve today? What weakness must I overcome? What strength must I develop? What wisdom must I gain? These are not idle questions. They are the foundations of purpose, the cornerstones of achievement. Think of your morning purpose as a sacred command, issued from the highest part of yourself to the part that wants to wander aimlessly through life. It should be clear enough to be understood, compelling enough to be followed, and noble enough to be worth the sacrifice it demands. Many will tell you to be flexible, to go with the flow, to see what the day brings. This is the advice of those who have surrendered their mornings to chance, their achievements to luck, their destiny to circumstances. Do not join their ranks. The morning is not a time for flexibility. It is a time for direction. Your purpose need not be grand in the eyes of others. It need not shake the foundations of empires or alter the course of history. But it must be grand in your eyes. It must be worthy of the sacred time you are giving it. It must be worth rising for, worth fighting for, worth conquering your comfort for. Remember, purpose is not just about the end goal. It is about the transformation that occurs as you pursue it. Each purposeful morning shapes not just your day, but your character. Each intentional dawn builds not just your schedule, but your legacy. The world will try to impose its purposes upon you. Your phone will buzz with urgent messages. Your inbox will overflow with others' priorities. The demands of the day will press against your consciousness like waves against a shore. This is why your purpose must be set before these assaults begin. In my meditations, I wrote of the importance of inner citadels, fortresses of the mind that cannot be breached by external chaos. Your morning purpose is the foundation of this citadel. It is the bedrock upon which all other achievements must be built. Without it, you are building on sand. So I challenge you, rise tomorrow not just with awareness, but with purpose. Not just with energy, but with direction. Not just with ambition, but with clarity. Let your purpose be the first thought that crosses your mind, the first fire that ignites your spirit, the first command that mobilizes your will. For a morning without purpose is not really a morning at all. It is merely an unconscious continuation of sleep. And you have not risen to sleep through your life, but to live it with the full force of directed purpose. Define your purpose. Commit to it. Let it be the star that guides you, the fire that drives you, the command that moves you. For in the end, it is not the hours in your morning that count, but the purpose in your hours. Mark these words well, for they contain a truth that has echoed through centuries. Discipline is not born in the heat of battle, in the chaos of noon, or in the fatigue of evening. Discipline is built in the quiet hours of dawn, when only the strongest wills prevail against the weakness of comfort. I speak to you not just as an emperor who commanded armies, but as a man who fought the hardest battle every morning, the battle against himself. The dawn is your daily proving ground, where character is forged that in the crucible of choice. Every morning presents the same fundamental decision. Will you rise to meet your highest purpose or surrender to your lowest impulses? Understand this. Discipline is not a trait you are born with. It is a power you build, decision by decision, morning by morning. Each time you choose the harder path of early rising over the easy path of continued rest, you are casting a vote for the person you wish to become. Each morning is a brick in the foundation of your character. The dawn hours are sacred precisely because they are difficult. If it were easy to rise early, to face the cold and dark with purpose, then this act would hold no power. But it is in the very struggle, in the internal battle between comfort and growth, that your discipline is tempered and strengthened. I wrote of this in my meditations. At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for? This is not mere philosophy, it is a practical truth. The morning is where you prove your commitment to your own greatness. Think of discipline as a muscle. Like any muscle, it must be stressed to grow stronger. The morning provides this stress in its purest form. When your alarm sounds, when comfort beckons, when every fiber of your being craves more rest, this is your opportunity to strengthen your discipline. Every time you rise despite these challenges, your will grows stronger. But let me be clear, this is not about punishment. This is not about denying yourself rest or forcing yourself into unnecessary hardship. This is about building a power that will serve you in every arena of life. The discipline you forge at dawn will carry you through the battles of noon and the fatigue of night. Consider the implications of this truth. Every morning is a chance to strengthen or weaken your character. There is no neutral ground. Either you are building discipline or you are feeding weakness. Either you are becoming stronger or you are becoming softer. The choice is made new each dawn. Many will tell you that discipline is too harsh, that you should be gentler with yourself, that you should listen to your body. But I tell you this, your body will always counsel comfort. Your mind will always suggest delay. It is your will that must rule both, and your will is strengthened only through consistent challenge. The morning is your daily opportunity to practice the art of command, first over yourself, then over your circumstances. When you can master your own rising, you develop the strength to master other challenges. When you can command yourself in the first hour, you build the power to command your life in all hours. This discipline must be total. It is not enough to rise early some days and sleep in others. Inconsistency is the poison of discipline. Your body and mind must know with unshakable certainty that when the appointed hour arrives, you will rise. No debate, no negotiation, no compromise. Remember, the goal is not the early hour itself. The goal is the forging of will, the building of character, the development of unstoppable discipline. The early hour is merely the arena where this battle is fought, where this power is built, where this transformation occurs. You must understand, the world is filled with people waiting for discipline to become easy, waiting for motivation to strike, waiting for the perfect moment to begin. But discipline is built precisely when motivation is absent, when circumstances are imperfect, when every excuse is readily available. This is why the dawn is so powerful. It cares nothing for your excuses. It doesn't ask if you feel motivated. It simply presents you with a choice. Rise and grow stronger, or remain and grow weaker. Make this choice enough times in favor of strength, and you build a discipline that cannot be broken. So I challenge you, view each morning as a builder views his materials, as a craftsman views his tools. Every dawn is an opportunity to lay another stone in the foundation of your discipline. Every early rising is another thread in the fabric of your character. The discipline you build at dawn will become your armor at noon, your shield in battle, your fortress in chaos. It will transform you from someone who hopes for success into someone who commands it. This is the power of morning discipline, not just to change your schedule, but to change your very nature. Listen with the full force of your attention, for I share with you now a truth that shaped empires. The wise warrior trains before the battle begins. The foolish one waits until the enemy is at the gates. Your morning is your training ground, your preparation field, your arena of transformation. Before the world demands your strength, I speak not in mere metaphors. As Emperor of Rome, I understood that victories were won, not in the moment of conflict, but in the countless hours of preparation that preceded it. The same principle holds true for your daily battles. The world will test you, this is certain. The only question is, will you be ready? Your morning hours are not just a time to wake up. They are your opportunity to forge yourself into something stronger, something more resilient, something more capable than you were yesterday. While others sleep, while others wait, while others hope for strength to find them, you must build it. Think of your morning as a sacred training ground. Just as a gladiator would never enter the arena without preparation, you must not enter your day without first strengthening your body, sharpening your mind, and tempering your spirit. This is not about vanity or self-punishment. It is about preparation for the challenges that await. I write of this from experience, not theory. Each morning, before the weight of empire fell upon my shoulders, I would prepare myself through physical exertion, through mental challenge, through spiritual reflection. This was not mere routine, it was necessity. The unprepared ruler is no ruler at all. Let me be clear about what this morning training must entail. First, there must be movement. Your body is not merely a vessel for your mind, it is the foundation of your power. Whether through the discipline of exercise, the shock of cold exposure, or the challenge of physical labor, you must wake your body from its slumber with purpose. But physical training alone is not enough. Your mind must also be challenged, must be strengthened, must be prepared for the complexities that await. Read that which challenges you. Write that which clarifies your thoughts. Solve problems that stretch your capabilities. The mind, like the body, grows stronger through deliberate stress. Many will tell you, this is too much to ask of the morning hours. They are the same people who find themselves overwhelmed when challenges arise, who crumble when pressure mounts, who break when adversity strikes. They never understood that strength is built in the moments before it is needed. Consider this. Every challenge you face today was born yesterday. Every test that awaits you has been growing while you slept. Will you meet these challenges as they come, unprepared and reactive? Or will you rise before them, train for them, prepare yourself to face them with the confidence of one who has already conquered harder things? The morning offers you unique advantages for this preparation. Your willpower is at its peak. Your mind is clear of the day's accumulating noise. The world's demands have not yet begun their assault on your attention. This is your time to train, to prepare, to strengthen yourself before the battle begins. This training must be comprehensive. Cold showers teach your body to embrace discomfort. Physical exercise builds not just strength, but resilience. Meditation trains your mind to remain calm in chaos. Reading feeds your intellect with new strategies and perspectives. Writing clarifies your thinking and strengthens your resolve. But remember, this is not about achieving perfection in any single area. This is about building a foundation of strength that will support you through all challenges. Your morning training should leave you feeling not exhausted, but energized, not depleted, but empowered, not drained, but prepared. I wrote of this. Principle: the best revenge is not to be like your enemy. In the context of your morning, this means not waiting for challenges to shape you, but shaping yourself to meet challenges. Not reacting to the day's demands, but preparing yourself to command them. Your training must be consistent, but not rigid. Some mornings will call for intense physical challenge. Others will require deep mental focus. Still others will demand spiritual renewal. Learn to read your needs while never negotiating with your commitment to preparation. Understand this: the world will not wait for you to be ready. It will not pause its challenges until you feel prepared. This is why you must use your morning hours to build your strength, to sharpen your skills, to fortify your spirit. Every moment of training is a deposit in the bank of future strength. So, I challenge you, make your morning hours your training ground. Rise before the demands of the day begin and prepare yourself with the seriousness of a warrior preparing for battle. For in truth, that is exactly what you are doing. Every day brings its own form of combat, whether in business, in relationships, in personal growth, or in the battle with your own limitations. Train before the world demands you to perform. Build your strength before you need it. Sharpen your mind before it faces its tests. This is the way of the warrior, the path of the leader, the strategy of those who understand that victory is determined long before the battle begins. Heed these words carefully, for they contain a truth that has survived centuries. In the first hour of your day, your mind is like a fortress. Either you guard it or the world will breach it. I learned this not in the tranquil gardens of philosophy, but in the demanding arena of empire, where each day brought 1,000 invasions of thought and purpose. The modern world conspires against your mental sovereignty. In that crucial first hour, it seeks to flood your consciousness with its urgencies, its dramas, its endless parade of distractions. Your phone buzzes with notifications. Your inbox overflows with demands. Social media beckons with its siren song of endless novelty. But I tell you this, yield to these in your first hour, and you have already lost the day. Think of your mind in the first hour as a newly awakened kingdom. Would a wise ruler open all gates before ensuring the fortress is secured? Would a prudent commander allow foreign armies to march through his camp before his own troops are assembled? Then why do you allow the world's chaos to invade your consciousness before you have established your mental sovereignty? The first hour sets the pattern for all hours that follow. Guard it as you would guard the most precious treasure, for in truth, that is exactly what it is. Your attention, your focus, your mental clarity, these are the true wealth of your existence. Let them be squandered in the first hour, and you will spend the rest of your day trying to reclaim what was lost. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of mental discipline, not because I was naturally immune to distraction, but because I understood that a mind at the mercy of external inputs cannot govern effectively, whether it governs an empire or merely its own day. Let me be clear about what it means to guard your mind in the first hour. It means no phones, no emails, no news, no social media. These are not mere suggestions. They are commands. The world's chaos can wait. Its emergencies will still be there in an hour. But this time, this sacred space of mental clarity once lost cannot be reclaimed. Create barriers between your awakening mind and the world's demands. Physical barriers. Keep devices away from your sleeping space. Temporal barriers. Set specific times when you will engage with the world's noise. Mental barriers. Train yourself to resist the urge to immediately connect with the digital world. Many will protest that they must be available, that they cannot afford this mental sanctuary. They are the same people who never have time to think deeply, to plan effectively, to live purposefully. They have surrendered their mental sovereignty for the illusion of connectivity. Consider this. Every great decision, every powerful insight, every meaningful realization comes from a mind that has space to think. The first hour of your day is that space, if you have the wisdom to protect it. When you allow the world's chaos to rush in immediately, you sacrifice this potential for reactive living. Your mind in the first hour is like a clean sheet of paper, waiting for the day's first marks. Will you allow random splashes of ink from external sources to stain it? Or will you write upon it with purpose, with intention, with the clarity that comes from protected thought? This guarding of the mind is not mere defense. It is the foundation of offensive capability. A mind that begins its day in clarity is a mind that can solve problems, see opportunities, and command circumstances. A mind that begins in chaos will spend its energy merely trying to find its footing. Remember, the world will never respect your mental boundaries unless you enforce them. It will push against your fortress walls with increasing urgency, promising emergencies that cannot wait, opportunities that might be missed, connections that must be maintained. These are the siege weapons it uses against your mental sovereignty. But what emergency is truly more urgent than the establishment of your mental clarity? What opportunity more valuable than the chance to begin your day with purpose? What connection more important than the one between your conscious mind and your deepest wisdom? Establish your protocols. Create your defensive perimeter. Set your mental guards. The first hour is your time to build your mental fortifications before the day's battles begin. Use it to center yourself, to review your purposes, to strengthen your resolve. Let no external force breach these walls before you choose to lower them. This is not about isolation. It is about intention. It is not about hiding from the world. It is about engaging with it from a position of mental strength rather than scattered reactivity. The world deserves your best thinking, not your morning confusion. So I challenge you. Guard your mind in the first hour as if the fate of empires depended upon it, because in a very real sense, the empire of your own life does depend upon it. Let no invasion of attention-seeking urgencies breach your mental walls before you have established your sovereignty for the day. Your mind, properly guarded in the first hour, becomes an unassailable fortress from which you can command your day with clarity, purpose, and power. This is not mere philosophy. It is practical wisdom earned through centuries of human experience. Guard your mind in the first hour, and all hours that follow will serve you better. Hear me well, for this truth has guided emperors and shaped civilizations. You become what you read in the morning hours, just as a warrior chooses his weapons. With care, you must choose your morning reading with profound deliberation. For the words you feed your mind at dawn will echo through every decision, every action, every moment that follows. I speak to you as one who rose before the sun to read Epictetus, to study the wisdom of those who came before, to strengthen my mind with thoughts that would sustain an empire. This was not mere scholarship. It was spiritual and mental armor, forged in the quiet hours when the mind is most receptive to deep truth. Understand this. Your morning reading is not entertainment. It is not distraction. It is nourishment for your soul, training for your mind, preparation for the battles ahead. Choose texts that challenge you, that force you to grow, that demand your full attention and engagement. Weak reading creates weak thinking. Strong reading forges mental steel. Let me be clear about what constitutes strengthening reading. It is not the news of the day, that ephemeral stream of events that will be forgotten by sunset. It is not the idle opinions of the masses, circulating on social media like leaves in the wind. It is the timeless wisdom that has survived centuries, the deep insights that have guided great minds through greatest challenges. When I ruled Rome, I did not begin my days with reports of street gossip or marketplace rumors. I began with philosophy, with history, with the distilled wisdom of those who had faced the challenges of leadership and life before me. This was not luxury, it was necessity. And so it must be for you. Think of your morning reading as a conversation with the greatest minds who have ever lived. Would you waste such an opportunity on trivial matters? Would you squander this precious time on content that will be obsolete by nightfall? Choose reading that nourishes your highest aspirations, that strengthens your deepest resolve, that expands your greatest capabilities. But remember, it is not enough to merely pass your eyes over words. You must engage with them as a warrior engages with his training, with full presence, with serious intent, with the determination to extract every useful lesson. Make notes, reflect deeply, question thoroughly. The passive reader gains information. The active reader gains transformation. I wrote extensively about the importance of applying what we learn. Knowledge without application is like armor that has never seen battle. Impressive perhaps, but ultimately useless. Your morning reading should arm you with insights you can use today, with wisdom you can test in the arena of your own life. Many will tell you they have no time for morning reading, that the day's demands are too urgent. They are the same people who repeatedly face the same challenges, make the same mistakes, live the same limited lives. They never understand that morning reading is not a luxury that follows success. It is a necessity that precedes it. Consider this. Every great leader, Every profound thinker, every successful innovator has stood on the shoulders of those who came before. Through reading, you access the distilled experience of countless lives, the refined wisdom of centuries, the tested solutions to eternal challenges. To neglect this resource is to choose ignorance when wisdom is freely available. Your morning reading should be systematic, not random. Choose texts that address your current challenges, that speak to your highest aspirations, that fill the gaps in your understanding. But also read what strengthens your character, what challenges your assumptions, what expands your conception of what is possible. Create a library of power, a carefully chosen collection of books that you can return to again and again. Each reading revealing new insights, each study strengthening your mental foundations. These are your tools of transformation, your weapons of wisdom, your aids to understanding. But be warned, not all reading strengthens. Much of what passes for knowledge in the modern world is mental junk food, temporarily satisfying, but ultimately weakening. Choose texts that have stood the test of time, that have proven their worth through the crucible of centuries, that continue to offer insight and guidance to each new generation. The morning is when your mind is most receptive, most capable of absorbing and integrating new wisdom. This is why the choice of reading material is crucial. Feed your mind strength in these hours, and it will serve you with strength throughout the day. Feed it weakness, and it will fail you when you need it most. So I challenge you, make your morning reading a sacred ritual. Choose texts that demand your best thinking, that elevate your understanding, that strengthen your resolve. Read not for entertainment, but for armament, gathering the weapons of wisdom you will need in the battles ahead. Remember, the minds you engage with in the morning hours become your mental companions throughout the day. Choose these companions wisely, for they will shape your thinking, influence your decisions, and ultimately determine your destiny. Read what strengthens you, and you will become strong. Read what elevates you, and you will rise. Read what enlightens you, and you will become light. Listen carefully to what I am about to share, for this wisdom was earned through governing an empire. The truly powerful do not merely react to chaos, they prepare for it. Your morning is not just a time of peace. It is your opportunity to rehearse for the storms that inevitably await you. I speak from the experience of one who faced daily challenges that could shake the foundations of civilization. As emperor, I learned that the difference between mastery and disaster often lay not in the challenge itself, but in the preparation that preceded it. The morning is your preparation ground, your strategic planning session, your mental rehearsal for whatever the day may bring. Understand this fundamental truth. Control is largely an illusion. The world will not bend to your plans, your preferences, or your schedules, but this does not leave you powerless. True power lies not in controlling circumstances, but in preparing yourself to meet them with unshakable strength. In the quiet of dawn, before the chaos begins, you must become the architect of your responses, not just to what you expect, but to what you cannot predict. This is not anxiety or pessimism. It is strategic wisdom. The unprepared mind reacts. The prepared mind responds. The difference is everything. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of anticipating adversity. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be meddling, ungrateful, arrogant, dishonest, jealous, and surly. This was not cynicism. It was preparation. By anticipating challenges, you remove their power to disturb your equilibrium. Let me be clear about what this morning preparation entails. First, you must visualize potential challenges, not with fear, but with strategic clarity. See the difficult conversation that may arise. Envision the unexpected obstacle that could emerge. Picture the plan that might dissolve. Not to worry, but to prepare. This mental rehearsal must be specific and thorough. How will you respond if your primary strategy fails? What resources can you call upon if your initial approach proves inadequate? Where are your contingency points? your fallback positions, your alternative routes to your objectives. Many will say this focus on potential problems is negative thinking. They are wrong. This is realistic thinking, strategic thinking, powerful thinking. The morning is when you must think clearly about what you do not control so that you can focus your energy on what you do control, your responses, your decisions, your actions. Consider this. Every crisis that has ever occurred seemed impossible until it happened. Every challenge that has ever arisen appeared unexpected to the unprepared. But those who take the morning hours to contemplate possibilities, to strengthen their responses, to build their mental fortifications, they are rarely truly surprised. This preparation must be both mental and emotional. In the morning quiet, rehearse not just your actions, but your emotional responses. How will you maintain calm in chaos? How will you preserve clarity in confusion? How will you keep your purpose? When plans dissolve? These are not theoretical questions. They are practical preparations. Your morning preparation should include what I call the preemptive acceptance of change. Look at your plans for the day and acknowledge, this may all change. Look at your expectations and recognize, these may all be overthrown, not with resignation, but with strategic awareness. The prepared mind is neither surprised nor disturbed when the inevitable changes arrive. But remember, this preparation is not about creating anxiety or fostering paranoia. It is about building resilience, developing adaptability, creating mental and emotional resources that you can call upon when needed. It is about being ready for reality, not hiding from it. I governed Rome understanding that each day could bring invasion, betrayal, natural disaster, or triumph. This awareness did not paralyze me, it empowered me, because I prepared for all possibilities. I could meet each reality with composed strength rather than scattered reaction. Your morning preparation must include what I call the fortress of responses, a mental treasury of pre-considered reactions to various types of challenges. Not rigid scripts, but flexible principles that can guide you through unexpected territories. The more you build this fortress in the morning, the more unshakable you become during the day. So I challenge you. Use your morning hours not just for peace, but for preparation. Not just for tranquility, but for strategic thinking. Build your mental fortifications before the siege begins. Strengthen your emotional resilience before it is tested. Prepare your responses before they are needed. Remember, the unprepared mind is a victim of circumstances. The prepared mind is a master of responses. Your morning is your opportunity to move from the first category to the second. Use it wisely, use it strategically, use it to build the strength that chaos cannot shake. Hear this essential truth, for it has been proven through centuries. The morning is more than a time of day. It is a mirror that reflects your truest self. What you do in these first sacred hours reveals not who you claim to be, but who you are becoming. I learned this not through philosophy alone, but through the relentless self-examination that ruling an empire demands. Understand this. Your morning routine is not merely a series of actions, it is a revelation of character. Every decision you make in these early hours, every action you take or refuse to take, every moment you invest or squander, these are not random choices. They are reflections of your deepest values, your true priorities, your authentic self. When I ruled Rome, I began each day with ruthless self-examination, not to torture myself with guilt, but to see clearly who I was becoming through my choices. The morning light shows all things in their true form, including ourselves. There is nowhere to hide from this mirror, no way to disguise the truth it reveals. Look carefully at your morning habits. They will tell you everything you need to know about your character's trajectory. Do you rise with purpose, or do you drift into consciousness? Do you move with intention, or do you let circumstance direct you? Do you strengthen what matters, or do you feed what weakens? I wrote in my meditations about the importance of honest self-assessment. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt ever dig. The morning is your time to dig, to examine, to understand the person you are becoming through your daily choices. But let me be clear. This self-examination must be both unflinching and compassionate. Look at your morning behaviors as a general surveys his troops, not to condemn, but to understand their true condition. Where are you strong? Where are you weak? What needs reinforcement? What needs transformation? Consider your first hour as a prophecy of your future self. The person you are becoming reveals himself in these moments when no one is watching, when the only audience is your own conscience. Are your actions aligned with your aspirations? Do your habits serve your highest purpose, or do they betray it? Many will avoid this morning reflection, preferring the comfortable fog of unexamined routine. They are the ones who wonder why they remain stuck, why they never transform, why they continue to live below their potential. They never understand that growth begins with the courage to see yourself clearly. Your morning is a mirror that shows 3 reflections: who you were, who you are, and who you are becoming. Look at how you spend these first precious hours. Are you investing in strength or indulging in weakness? Are you building what matters or avoiding what challenges? Are you moving towards your highest self or hiding from your deepest truths? The morning reveals your relationship with discipline. Do you keep the promises you make to yourself, or do you negotiate with your own standards? The answer is written clearly in your morning routine. There is no hiding from this truth, no way to pretend that you are more disciplined than your actions reveal. Examine the state of your morning space. Is it ordered or chaotic? Are your tools for growth readily available, or must you search for them daily? Your external environment reflects your internal state. The condition of your morning space is a mirror of your mental clarity and purposefulness. Look at your morning priorities. What receives your first attention? What gets your best energy? These choices are not trivial. They are profound revelations of what you truly value, not what you say you value. The morning mirror shows the difference between your proclaimed priorities and your lived ones. I challenge you to face this morning mirror with complete honesty. Look at the person reflected in your first hour choices. Is this the person you intend to become? Does this reflection match your aspirations? If not, remember, the morning is not just a mirror. It is also your workshop for transformation. Your morning routine is writing your future autobiography. Each habit, each choice, each moment of action or hesitation is a sentence in this story. Read it carefully. What tale are your mornings telling about who you are becoming? What legacy are your dawn hours writing? Remember, the morning mirror cannot lie. It shows you exactly who you are becoming through your choices, your habits, your priorities. Face this reflection with courage. Examine it with wisdom. Use it as a guide for transformation. For in the end, the person you become is not determined by your intentions, but by your morning actions. This is not about perfection. It is about honest alignment between who you wish to become and who your mornings reveal you to be. Let the morning be your teacher, your guide, your mirror of truth. For only in seeing yourself clearly can you begin to shape yourself deliberately. Heed these words with the utmost attention, for they contain a truth that has preserved empires. Within you lies a fortress that no external force can breach, but you must build it each morning before the world begins its assault. I speak not of physical walls, but of the impenetrable citadel of the Stoic mind, constructed in the sacred hours of dawn. As emperor, I learned that true power lies not in controlling the world, but in fortifying the mind against its chaos. Your morning is not merely a time of preparation. It is your daily opportunity to strengthen your inner citadel, to build those mental walls that will protect your peace, your purpose, and your power throughout the day's battles. Understand this: the world will attack your tranquility with 1,000 weapons. Disappointments will lay siege to your contentment. Setbacks will attempt to breach your resolve. Other people's urgencies will try to scale your walls of purpose. Without a strong inner citadel, you will be overrun by these forces before midday arrives. The morning is when you must build your defenses. In these quiet hours, while the world sleeps, you have the opportunity to strengthen your mental fortifications, to deepen your philosophical trenches, to shore up your emotional battlements. This is not paranoia. It is practical wisdom earned through centuries of human experience. I wrote of this inner citadel because I knew its vital importance. The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. Your morning thoughts are the foundation stones of your fortress. Choose them with the care of an architect designing an emperor's stronghold. Each thought either strengthens or weakens your defenses. Let me be clear about what this inner citadel must contain. First, it needs walls of perspective, the ability to see events as they truly are, stripped of emotional exaggeration. Build these walls through morning meditation, through philosophical reflection, through careful consideration of what truly matters. Your fortress must have towers of principle, clear, unshakable values that rise above the fog of circumstance. These are not built in a day, but each morning provides new opportunities to strengthen them. What do you stand for? What will you not compromise? These questions must be answered in the morning quiet. Many will say this fortress building is unnecessary, that it's better to remain open and vulnerable. They are the ones who end each day defeated by events they could have prepared for, broken by challenges they could have fortified themselves against. They never understood that strength and sensitivity are not opposites, they are allies. Consider your morning routine as the construction of your daily defenses. Each positive habit is a stone in your wall. Each moment of reflection is mortar strengthening your foundation. Each act of discipline is a guard posted at your gates. These are not metaphors. They are the practical elements of psychological sovereignty. Your inner citadel must include chambers of silence, spaces in your mind where the world's noise cannot penetrate. Create these through morning meditation, through purposeful quiet, through the cultivation of inner peace. These chambers will become your refuge when the day's battles grow fierce. But remember, this fortress is not for hiding. It is not an escape from reality, but a position of strength from which to engage with it. A strong inner citadel allows you to venture into the world's chaos while remaining internally ordered, to face its challenges while maintaining your center. The morning is when you must inspect your defenses. Where has doubt created cracks in your walls? Where has laziness left gates unguarded? Where has compromise weakened your foundations? Identify these vulnerabilities and repair them before the day's assaults begin. I challenge you to build your inner citadel with the same seriousness that a general fortifies his stronghold. Each morning, ask yourself, are my mental defenses strong enough for today's battles? Have I reinforced my philosophical foundations? Have I posted guards against negativity, distraction, and weakness? Your morning fortress building must include the establishment of clear battle lines. What will you defend at all costs? What can you surrender without loss? What territory is worth fighting for? These are not abstract questions. They are the practical boundaries that will preserve your energy and focus throughout the day. Remember, the strongest fortress is not built in a day, but neither can it be built without daily attention. Each morning provides new opportunities to strengthen your walls, to deepen your moats, to raise your towers higher. This is not optional work. It is the essential preparation for anyone who wishes to live with purpose in a chaotic world. Build your inner citadel with the patience of a craftsman and the foresight of a strategist. For in the end, it is not the world's chaos that defeats most people, it is their lack of internal fortification against it. Let your morning be your construction time, your preparation, your daily strengthening of the walls that protect your highest purpose. Listen well to this eternal truth. In the realm of personal transformation, it is not the grand gestures, but the small, consistent rituals that forge an unconquerable character. I speak not from mere theory, but from the wisdom gained in governing an empire, where I learned that mighty Rome itself was built not through singular acts of glory, but through the patient accumulation of daily disciplines. Understand this fundamentals principle. Your morning rituals are not minor habits. They are the building blocks of greatness. Each small action, each tiny discipline, each seemingly insignificant choice made in the dawn hours contains within it the power to reshape your destiny. The power lies not in their size, but in their consistency. When I ruled Rome, I discovered that the empire's strength came not from its grandest monuments, but from the countless small daily actions of its citizens and soldiers. The same principle applies to your morning kingdom. It is not the occasional burst of inspiration that transforms you. It is the quiet power of small rituals, faithfully observed. Think of your morning rituals as the individual brushstrokes that, over time, create a masterpiece. Each one may seem insignificant in isolation. The 3 minutes of meditation, the 5 minutes of journaling, the 7 minutes of exercise, these may appear too small to matter, but their power lies in their accumulation, their compound effect over time. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of these small actions. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. This transformation happens not through grand declarations, but through the patient accumulation of small, powerful morning rituals. Let me be clear about what constitutes a powerful morning ritual. It is not its complexity that gives its strength. It is its consistency. A simple ritual performed faithfully has more power than an elaborate one performed occasionally. The water that shapes the stone does so not through force, but through persistent, gentle action. Consider these small rituals as the atoms of your character. Making your bed immediately upon rising. This is not about tidiness. It is about starting your day with an immediate victory. Drinking water before anything else. This is not about hydration alone. It is about honoring your body's first need. Writing 3 sentences in your journal. This is not about literary achievement. It is about maintaining a dialogue with your deeper self. Many will dismiss these small rituals as insignificant, seeking instead the grand gesture, the dramatic transformation. They are like those who dream of winning battles while neglecting the daily training that makes victory possible. They never understand that greatness is built in small increments, accumulated through faithful observance of minor disciplines. Your morning rituals must be small enough to be sustainable, but significant enough to matter. The perfect push-up done daily builds more strength than the ambitious workout attempted sporadically. The moment of mindful breathing practiced every morning creates more peace than the occasional hour of meditation. Think of each small ritual as a thread in the fabric of your character. One thread alone may seem weak, but woven together through daily practice, they create a tapestry of unshakable strength. The power lies not in any single ritual, but in their combination and their consistency. Remember this, the smallest ritual, performed with full presence and clear intention, carries more power than the grandest gesture done with divided attention. When you brush your teeth, be fully present to that act. When you make your bed, do it with complete attention. When you pour your first water, do it with gratitude. These are not mere tasks. They are opportunities for transformation. Your morning rituals must include what I call anchor points, small non-negotiable actions that hold your morning steady regardless of circumstances. Perhaps it's touching your feet to the floor and immediately standing. Perhaps it's taking 3 conscious breaths before speaking. Perhaps it's writing 1 sentence of gratitude. These anchors, though small, keep you moored to your purpose. I challenge you to embrace the power of small rituals. Do not be seduced by the allure of dramatic transformations. Instead, trust in the quiet power of faithful observance. Let each small morning ritual be a brick in the foundation of your character, a step on the staircase of your growth. The morning offers you countless opportunities for these small, powerful rituals. the way you greet the dawn, the order in which you prepare yourself, the mindfulness with which you dress. These are not trivial matters. They are the building blocks of your daily sovereignty. Your small rituals are like the precise movements of a master swordsman, each one refined through practice, each one essential to the whole. The way you fold your clothes, the manner in which you make your tea, the posture you adopt for your first breath of day, these create not just order in your environment, but clarity in your mind and strength in your character. Remember, great power often comes wrapped in simple packages. The most profound transformations often begin with the smallest changes. Trust in the power of small rituals, faithfully observed. For in the end, it is not the size of your morning actions that determines their impact. It is the devotion and consistency with which you perform them. Hear me with the full force of your attention, for I share with you now a truth that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Action without excuse is the foundation of all achievement. I speak not from philosophical speculation, but from the hard-earned wisdom of one who had to act decisively when the fate of an empire hung in the balance. Understand this: the morning presents you with a fundamental choice: to act or to excuse. This choice, made in the first moments of consciousness, ripples through every hour that follows. The world is full of people waiting to feel ready, waiting for perfect conditions, waiting for motivation to strike. They will wait forever, for these are the lies that mediocrity tells itself. When I led Rome, I could not wait for perfect conditions before making decisions. I could not wait to feel ready before facing challenges. The empire demanded action, not excuses. Your life, though perhaps not commanding armies, demands the same unwavering commitment to action. Let me be clear: every morning brings with it 1,000 reasons not to act. Your body will present its complaints. Your mind will offer its doubts. The world will suggest its delays. These are not valid reasons. They are excuses masquerading as wisdom. They must be recognized and rejected with the same swift certainty with which a general rejects calls for retreat. I wrote in my meditations about the futility of excuses. Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. This is not mere philosophy. It is a call to immediate purposeful action. Consider this: every excuse you entertain in the morning becomes stronger by noon. Every delay you permit becomes a habit by nightfall. Every negotiation you have with your own standards becomes a surrender to mediocrity. The morning is when you must act with the clarity and decisiveness that makes excuses impossible. Your actions must be immediate and complete. When the moment for rising comes, rise. When the time for exercise arrives, move. When the opportunity for growth presents itself, seize it. Do not wait for second thoughts. They are merely excuses in disguise. Do not wait for better circumstances. They are mirages that recede as you approach. Many will tell you to be gentle with yourself, to ease into your day, to wait until you feel ready. They speak the language of comfort, not the language of growth. They never understood that readiness is a myth, that the perfect moment is an illusion, that strength comes from acting precisely when you don't feel ready. Think of each morning action as a battle cry against mediocrity. The bed calls for 5 more minutes. Act without excuse. The workout seems too demanding. Act without excuse. The morning routine feels too challenging. Act without excuse. Each decisive action strengthens your will. Each excuse weakens it. Your morning actions must be non-negotiable. The moment you open the floor to negotiation with your own standards, you have already lost. This is not about being harsh. It is about being honest. Either your standards guide your actions or your excuses erode your character. There is no middle ground. Remember this: the voice that offers excuses is not your ally. It speaks the language of fear, of comfort, of mediocrity. It will always sound reasonable. It will always present logical seeming arguments for delay, for ease, for compromise. This voice must not be debated. It must be overruled by immediate action. I challenge you to make your morning a excuse-free zone. When the alarm sounds, act. When the workout calls, move. When the task awaits, engage. Not because you feel ready, not because conditions are perfect, not because motivation runs high, but because you have committed to living without the poison of excuses. Your actions in the morning set the pattern for your entire day. Act with decisiveness at dawn, and decisiveness becomes your natural state. Act without excuse in the first hour, and excuseless action becomes your default mode. Each morning presents you with this choice. Will you act with the power of commitment, or will you succumb to the weakness of excuse? The world will always provide you with reasons to delay, to hesitate, to wait for a better moment. Your task is not to overcome these reasons. It is to act regardless of them. This is not recklessness. It is the highest form of self-respect. For in acting without excuse, you declare your sovereignty over circumstance, so make your choice. Will you join the ranks of those who act, who achieve, who transform their lives through the power of excuseless action, or will you remain among those who wait, who delay, who live in the shadow of their own excuses? The morning awaits your answer, and your actions will speak louder than any words. Hear this truth that has guided emperors through their darkest hours. Each morning presents you with a fundamental choice, to face the sun or to dwell in shadows. I speak not in metaphors, but in the deepest practical wisdom learned from governing an empire. For how you orient yourself in those first crucial moments of consciousness will determine whether you live as a master of circumstance or a victim of it. Most people begin their day in darkness, not the darkness of the pre-dawn hour, but the darkness of their own fears, regrets, and anxieties. They wake to immediately check their phones, drowning in a sea of others' urgencies. They arise thinking of yesterday's failures or tomorrow's uncertainties. This is not living. This is merely existing in the shadows of what might be or what might have been. When I ruled Rome, I learned that a leader who begins his day focusing on shadows quickly loses sight of the light that guides the empire. The same holds true for you. Every morning you must make a conscious choice to face the sun, to orient yourself toward possibility, toward strength, toward what can be built, rather than what might go wrong. Let me be clear about what it means to face the sun. It means rising, with your first thoughts directed not toward problems, but toward possibilities. Not toward what you fear, but toward what you can create. Not toward what might go wrong, but toward what you can make right. This is not blind optimism. It is strategic positioning of your mental forces. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of morning perspective. When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. This was not mere sentiment. It was a tactical approach to commanding the day from a position of strength rather than weakness. Consider how different armies position themselves before battle. The wise general places his forces where the rising sun will be at his back, blinding his opponents while illuminating his path. Your morning mind must be positioned with the same strategic wisdom. Face what illuminates, not what shadows. Orient toward what strengthens, not what weakens. Many begin their day by immediately engaging with problems, checking emails full of demands, reading news full of crises, scrolling through social media full of complaints. They think they are being productive, responsible, informed. In truth, they are positioning themselves in shadows, forcing their minds to begin each day from a defensive posture. Your morning orientation must be deliberate and complete. Just as a plant grows toward the light by natural law, your mind must be trained to grow toward what strengthens it. This is not about ignoring problems. It is about approaching them from a position of power rather than weakness, of clarity rather than confusion. Think of your first waking thoughts as the seeds of the day to come. Plant them in the light of possibility, not in the shadows of fear. Water them with gratitude, not anxiety. Let them grow toward achievement, not away from failure. The difference in orientation makes all the difference in outcome. Remember this. The shadows will always be there. Problems will always exist. Challenges will always arise. But your power lies not in dwelling on these shadows, but in positioning yourself to illuminate them with the light of clear thinking, decisive action, and unwavering purpose. I challenge you to make this solar orientation your first conscious choice each morning, before you check your phone, before you engage with the world's demands, before you begin your daily tasks. Face the sun. Let your first thoughts be of what you can build, what you can strengthen, what you can illuminate. This orientation must become your morning ritual. Just as surely as the sun rises in the east, your mind must rise toward possibility. This is not a matter of mood or motivation. It is a matter of strategic positioning. A mind oriented toward shadows begins each day at a disadvantage. A mind facing the sun begins from a position of power. Your morning thoughts create the lens through which you will view the entire day. Choose to look through the lens of shadow, and everything will appear as a threat or a burden. Choose to look through the lens of light, and everything becomes either an opportunity or a teaching. But understand, this is not about positive thinking. It is about powerful positioning. The sun-faced warrior sees challenges just as clearly as the shadow dweller, but sees them from a position of advantage, illuminated by purpose rather than darkened by fear. So make your choice. Will you begin each day facing what illuminates or what darkens? Will you orient yourself toward strength or toward fear? Will you position yourself to cast light on challenges or to be shadowed by them? The sun rises every morning, offering you this choice. Your power lies in how you position yourself in relation to its light. Listen with the gravity this truth demands. Each morning could be your last. This is not morbid speculation. It is the most clarifying perspective you can bring to your dawn hours. I speak as one who ruled an empire, yet understood that each sunrise was a gift, not a guarantee. This awareness, this memento mori, must infuse every morning with supreme urgency and profound gratitude. When I led Rome, I began each day with this stark reminder. You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This was not to paralyze with fear, but to energize with purpose. For when you truly grasp that each morning could be your final one, every moment becomes precious, every action becomes significant, every choice becomes sacred. Understand this. The morning is not promised, that you have awakened to see another. Dawn is not a common thing. It is a rare and precious gift. Most people waste this gift, assuming there will always be another morning, another chance, another opportunity. They never understand that this assumption itself is the greatest squanderer of potential. Let me be clear about what this morning mortality awareness means. It does not mean to live in fear or anxiety. It means to live with absolute presence, with complete commitment, with full engagement in each moment. When you realize this could be your final morning, you cannot help but bring your full attention to it. I wrote extensively about the importance of this perspective. Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly. This applies with special force to your mornings. If this were to be your final dawn, how would you spend it? What would suddenly become important? What would instantly become trivial? Consider how this awareness transforms your morning routine. Would you waste these precious moments checking social media if you knew they might be your last? Would you spend this gift of time worrying about minor irritations? Would you squander these irreplaceable minutes on anything less than what truly matters? Your morning must be approached with this dual awareness, supreme gratitude for the gift of another dawn, and stark recognition that it could be your last. This is not about being morbid. It is about being fully alive, fully present, fully engaged. With the miracle of existence, many will shy away from this morning meditation, on mortality. They prefer the comfortable illusion of endless tomorrows. They never understand that this illusion itself robs their mornings of power, their actions of urgency, their choices of significance. They live as if immortal, and thus never truly live at all. Think of each morning as a newly discovered country that you may never see again. How would you explore it? How would you appreciate it? How would you ensure that you extracted its full value? This is how you must approach each dawn, with wonder at its existence and urgency in its exploration. Remember, this morning perspective is not about creating anxiety about death. It is about creating intensity of life. When you truly understand that each morning could be your last, procrastination becomes impossible. Hesitation becomes absurd. Half-hearted engagement becomes unthinkable. I challenge you to bring this awareness to your morning practice. Let it infuse every action with significance, every choice with consciousness, every moment with meaning. Let it strip away the trivial and reveal what truly matters. Let it be the lens through which you view every morning opportunity. Your morning rituals must be performed with this awareness. Each breath could be your last. Breathe with attention. Each movement could be final. Move with purpose. Each interaction could be your closing act. Engage with presence. This is not melodrama. It is the highest form of practical wisdom. But remember, this awareness of mortality should fill you not with dread, but with appreciation. Each morning is a bonus, an unexpected gift, a fresh opportunity. To waste it is to dishonor it. To engage with it fully is to celebrate it properly. The morning sun that rises could be your last. The coffee you drink could be your final taste. The words you write could be your closing message. Let this awareness sharpen your attention, clarify your priorities, and intensify your engagement with every morning moment. So I challenge you, live each morning as if it were both your first and your last. Bring to it the wonder of a beginner and the urgency of a finale. For in truth, it is both a unique gift that will never come again, a precious opportunity that could be your last. Hear this fundamental truth that has preserved the sanity of emperors. You must not let the world set your pace. I speak not from theory, but from the experience of one who faced daily the crushing weight of an empire's demands. Each morning brings with it a tide of urgencies, a flood of demands, a storm of distractions, but you must stand firm, setting your own rhythm, commanding your own time. Understand this. The moment you wake, the world begins its assault on your sovereignty. Emails flood in, notifications buzz, news screams for attention, and social media beckons with its siren song. These are not mere distractions. They are invasions. They are attempts to colonize your time, to dictate your priorities, to set your pace according to the world's frantic rhythm, rather than your own purposeful cadence. When I ruled Rome, I learned that an emperor who allows others to set his pace soon loses control of his empire. The same holds true for you. Allow the world to dictate the rhythm of your morning, and you surrender control not just of your time, but of your very destiny. Let me be clear. You must establish boundaries that are as solid as Roman walls. Your morning space must be a protected territory, an inner sanctum where you set the pace, where you determine the rhythm, where you command the flow of time and attention. This is not selfishness. It is survival. This is not isolation. It is strategic sovereignty. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of maintaining inner peace amid external chaos. But this peace must be actively defended. It must be protected by strong boundaries, clear rules, and unwavering discipline. Your morning must be a fortress against the world's attempts to set your pace. Consider this. Every notification you allow in the morning is a breach in your defenses. Every email you check is a surrender of sovereignty. Every news headline you read is an acceptance of the world's rhythm over your own. These are not harmless habits. They are abdications of your authority over your own time and attention. Your morning pace must be set by your purpose, not by the world's panic. The news will tell you everything is urgent. Social media will insist everything is important. Email will suggest everything is immediate. These are lies. Very few things truly require your immediate attention. Even fewer deserve to breach your morning sanctuary. Many will protest that they must stay connected, must remain available, must keep pace with the world's demands. They are the ones who end each day feeling overwhelmed, depleted, and disconnected from their own purpose. They never understood that pace is power, and whoever controls your pace controls your life. Think of your morning as a symphony you are conducting. Would a maestro allow random noises to interrupt his music? Would he let the audience set the tempo? Would he conduct according to the traffic noise outside? Your morning requires the same fierce protection of its rhythm. Create your morning barriers with absolute clarity. No phones until after your morning routine is complete. No emails until you have set your own priorities. No news until you have fortified your mind with your own thoughts. No social media until you have social connection with your own deeper purpose. Remember, the world will not respect your boundaries unless you do. It will push against your walls, test your resolve, attempt to breach your defenses. Your task is not to be flexible with these attempts. It is to be adamant. Your morning peace is too precious to be sacrificed to the world's chaos. I challenge you to reclaim the pace of your mornings. Establish your rhythm, set your tempo, create your boundaries. Let the world wait while you build your strength. Clarify your purpose and align your actions with your highest priorities. Your morning routine must be a declaration of independence from the world's demands. Each deliberate action, each protected moment, each controlled response is an assertion of your sovereignty over your own time and attention. This is not about disconnection, it is about intentional connection, not with the world's chaos, but with your own purpose, not with external demands, but with internal wisdom, not with the frantic pace of others, but with the purposeful rhythm of your own growth. The world will always try to set your pace. It will rush you, pressure you, demand immediate response to non-urgent matters. Your power lies in your refusal to adopt its rhythm. Set your own pace. Command your own time. Let the world adjust to your rhythm rather than sacrificing your peace to its chaos. So, make your choice. Will you let the world's frantic pace dictate your mornings? Or will you stand firm, protecting your peace, commanding your time, setting your own rhythm? The morning awaits your decision, and your boundaries will determine your power. Hear this final, culminating truth that has echoed through centuries. Master your morning, and you master your life. I speak to you now, not just as an emperor who commanded vast territories, but as one who understood that the greatest empire you will ever rule is the empire of your own existence. And the throne room of that empire is the first hour of your day. Understand this with the full force of its implications. Your morning mastery is not merely about productive routines or efficient habits. It is about something far more profound. It is about commanding the very nature of your existence. For how you rule your morning determines how you rule your day, and how you rule your days determines how you rule your life. When I governed Rome, I saw that the empire's fate was decided not in grand battles or dramatic moments, but in the accumulated weight of daily decisions, each one beginning with the morning's first choice. The same holds true for the empire of your life. Each morning is a microcosm of your entire existence. Master it, and you master everything. Let me be clear about what morning mastery truly means. It is not about rigid routines, though discipline plays its part. It is not about early rising alone, though that is often its foundation. Morning mastery is about establishing absolute sovereignty over the most crucial hours of your existence, the hours that shape all other hours. I wrote in my meditations about the importance of ruling oneself before attempting to rule others. This principle finds its purest expression in the morning hours. For it is here, in the dawn, that you first demonstrate your capacity for self-rule. Fail here, and you will fail everywhere. Succeed here, and you build the foundation for success in all things. Consider the profound truth of this. Every great achievement, every meaningful change, every lasting transformation begins with morning mastery. For it is in the morning that you prove to yourself what you are capable of. It is in the morning that you demonstrate your commitment to your highest aspirations. It is in the morning that you show yourself who you truly are. Your morning mastery must encompass 3 domains: the physical, the mental, and the spiritual. The body must be awakened with purpose, the mind must be engaged with clarity, and the spirit must be aligned with its highest calling. This is not about perfection, it is about integration. This is not about flawless execution, it is about faithful dedication. Many will say that morning mastery is too demanding, too challenging, too much to ask of ordinary lives. They are the ones who will forever remain ordinary, forever reactive, forever at the mercy of circumstances. They never understood that greatness is not achieved in spite of demands. It is achieved through them. Think of your morning as the foundation upon which your entire day is built. A weak foundation cannot support a strong structure. A compromised beginning cannot ensure a powerful conclusion. Master your morning, and you create a platform for mastering everything that follows. Remember, morning mastery is not about controlling everything. It is about commanding yourself. It is not about perfect circumstances. It is about perfect commitment. It is not about easy victories. It is about worthy struggles that forge unshakable strength. I challenge you one final time. Embrace the full power of morning mastery. Let it be your path to self-sovereignty, your route to self-respect, your way to self-actualization. For in mastering your morning, you master yourself, and in mastering yourself, you master your destiny. Your morning mastery must become your non-negotiable standard. Not because it is easy, but because it is essential. Not because it guarantees success, but because it develops the character that makes success inevitable. Not because it eliminates challenges, but because it builds the strength to overcome them. This is the ultimate truth about morning mastery. It is not just about winning the morning, it is about winning life itself. It is not just about starting your day well, it is about commanding your entire existence. It is not just about productive routines, it is about personal sovereignty. The morning awaits you as it has awaited every great soul who has ever lived. It offers you the same opportunity it offered them, the chance to rise above ordinary existence, to command your own destiny, to build something extraordinary from the raw material of each new day. So rise, rule, repeat. For in this simple rhythm lies the secret of all achievement, all growth, all mastery. The morning is your throne room. How will you rule